All right. Gilbert Burns, Alex Oliveira, finished by armbar from the mount after a nice triangle from the mount attempt.
Yes.
It was a beautiful finish, and you can look it up somewhere and watch the whole sequence at the end. It was a nice mounted triangle attempt. What I want to talk about in that fight was the Omoplata sequence in the third round that kept going and going and going and going before he actually landed in the mount and then finished it. And Omoplata is an MMA in general. We already know that other than Ben Saunders, they pretty much don't happen, okay? So he's here, I forgot which arm it was, but he gets his hips out, creates a situation, he gets to here, boom. Here's the thing, you only have two arms. And in Omoplata, don't grab your thigh, just keep your glove right in here. What he tried to do several times is sit up, and he wants to invert this leg and go. The problem is this, the time between sitting up, this is the most important thing is inverted. If you can get the inverted leg, now his shoulder 1 second away from damage, if that makes sense. My hips are off the ground, his arm is done. The problem is, Brian, every time I sit up like this, when I say go, try to off-balance me, and I'm gonna try to invert my leg. When Marcus said, go. He's gonna off-balance me. And then I do it again, and I sit up, and he's gonna off-balance me. Every single time. That's why omoplatas don't work in MMA. This guy, if he simply tilts me, I'm not gonna be able to get here, to here. That second transition to the inverted leg simply can't happen if this person's awake or conscious or has any kind of spirit. Now, if he has no energy, it's different. He'll just stay here and we'll get up. Like it was in Ben Saunders' case, he got here, got this arm, and then he literally just grabbed it and wrenched it forward. But nonetheless, guys are gonna keep tilting each other. So I wanna show one detail that will change your MMA omoplata lives forever. Don't worry about going up, bring them down. Let's change our angle, please. So let me get omoplata backwards here. Look at this, you guys. Instead of sitting up, when you're here, first thing, check the wrist, block the hip. And if they stay here for any period of time and you decide you want to go, we're going to rock up, okay? But before we do, check this out. Inside ankle control, cross hip control. 1, 2, rotate a little more. Look what I have right now. Now here's the deal. I'm not trying to sit up. Instead, I'm trying to, 1. Now rock me back. He can. Now I sit up and I break the shoulder. You guys, this one's gonna change your life forever. I'm telling you, Omoplata went from a sweep 80% of the time to a submission 20% of the time to now it's a submission 80% of the time and a sweep 20 because of one detail, the bonus tip right here. Look, the inside ankle. Rotate me, bro. Yes. So instead of trying to sit, try to knock me off balance right now, Brian, he can't because I'm already down. I'm not going anywhere. But if I hold this, keep the wrist, watch. From here, elbow get up, and my hand goes across the hip. And I hug his hip over here. Now, while stiff arming his leg, I'm not gonna pull Brian towards his knee. Spread your knee for base, because he's too strong. I'm gonna move and pull Brian over his shin. Explain the beauty of that.
Yeah, you can't accommodate that movement right now.
Right.
Because you're thinking you don't want to fall down sideways and you want to get up.
And I go like this. And the house is freaking broken. And now by the time you rebuild, I'm gonna be on your hip hugging and then ready to invert my leg and break. Yeah. So I'm buying myself a 2-second, you know, like when you play hockey and the guy does a penalty and then he goes out and then there's a power play where there's 5 guys, 5 or 6 or 3, against whatever one less is on the other side. I think it's 5 on 4 down. Power play. Now they get to play and there's one guy missing. That's what you're doing right here. When you break the house right there, they're down and you have a small period of time where you have a power play where you can get up, hug the hip, invert your leg, and they can't tilt you for that quick second. By the time they rebuild their house, I'm ripping their arm off to the north. Is my enthusiasm a fair reflection of the importance of this detail?
Yes.
There you go. You've been warned. Okay? The bonus tip. Tip their hips. Own the hip. So one more time in full inflation. Boom, boom. I get to the ankle. I move my hips out. I'm holding this. Sit up. Find the other hip. Keep his ankle glued. And now I'm going to shrimp my hips away while pulling his butt to this side. Don't let go of the ankle. Boom. Now watch. Keep this. Swallow the hip. Now I'm inverted. Try to get back out. It's over. It's over. It's over.